Subscribe to Diazonic Labs and click on bell icon to get latest updates.
Okay, peace be on you all. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Mohammed Amir from Diazonic Labs. Alright, so today in this particular video, we'll be learning about if-else statements, the conditional statements in Python programming language. Okay, so let me quickly open my IDLE here and then let's get started. All right, the first thing what you have to remember is if you want to make your variable go through any particular condition, that's when we use some conditional statement. Like just to give you a very simple example, imagine you have to take a number from the user and you have to classify whether that particular number is say positive integer or negative integer. Okay, this is what you have to consider. All right, so let me quickly go to file, let me go to new file here, and then in my new file I'll be writing the code here. Okay, so let me just bring it on one side. Okay, so the first thing what I'll do is here I will write if. Okay, if imagine I take one variable, let me call it as num. Okay, and then that particular num, if it is equal to 0, okay, this will be the first condition. The way we write conditional statement is that we write here if first and then you write condition 1, whatever condition you have to write, and after that we will write colon. Okay, if you remember, colon is used to represent a block. Okay, so inside if block whatever we want we can write it. So here I will write one print statement. Okay, and let me write here say the number is 0. Okay, this is what I will write. And then the next thing what I'll do is I can write here else if, but then in Python there's nothing called as else if. We combine else if to form one particular word called as elif. Okay, now I will compare my number elif if my number is say greater than 0. Okay, if my number is say greater than 0, then I will be printing a message saying that the number is a positive integer. Okay, let me write this, and then after that I will write one more statement. I can write here completely by saying say else. Okay, I can write elif number is lesser than 0 as well, but then this is the only statement which I'll be having, which I'll be left out with. So I will write here else and then I will put colon. Please note that whenever you write else, you should not write a condition. Here, let me write print the number is a negative integer. Okay, this is what I will write and I'll finish. And now what I'll do is here I will allocate one space. Let me write num variable is equal to int of input, and then here I will write enter a number. Okay, this is what I will write, enter a number. It will accept only the integer value, and then if it is equal to 0, then it should print number is 0. If it is greater than 0, it should print it is a positive integer, else it should print it is a negative integer. Okay, let's try this out. Let me write control. Let me save the file here, control S. I will go to my desktop screen and then I will save it in Python tutorial. Let me write here p3 if else and then press save. Okay, now let me go to run and press run module. It is asking me a number. Let me give here number as say 2. Okay, so now when I press 2, the number is a positive integer. Very well. And let me run the code again here, and then it is asking me for one particular number. Let me write here say 0. Okay, the number is 0. All right, and then let me press F5 here again. Let me give -2. Okay, the number is a negative integer. All right, so we are getting the result correctly. Now, one point to be noted is that if I want to check the output, I have to go back to my program and rerun it again and again. Instead, what I'll do is I will put all of this in one loop. Okay, I will put this in one loop wherein the number or the input, whatever it is being asked from the user, can be repeated again and again and again and again. Okay, how do you do that? All of this will be under one block. So we will put one loop here, and we can categorize looping construct into another format. We can tell that there is something called as finite loop and there's something called as infinite loop. Okay, what do you mean by finite loop? Finite loop means that your loop or whatever the block you have written inside that loop will run until one particular condition is met. And what do you mean by infinite loop? It will be running again and again and again until you interrupt it with until you interrupt it with keyboard, or else you use a break statement somewhere. Let's write here the infinite loop. Okay, so we will be using here while loop, and the way we write infinite loop is by writing while and then give a space and write here true, and whenever you write true, T should be in capital letter. True is a value which belongs to Boolean data type. Okay, so let me give here colon, and I want all of this to be inside this block. What I'll do is I will select this particular paragraph or this particular code set of code, and I will just press here tab. When I press here tab, everything will be given one indentation, right? So now it is in my forever loop. Let me save it, let me run it, and then enter a number 1. It is saying positive 0, number is 0, minus 9, press enter, the number is a negative integer, right? It is asking me again and again and again in the same program itself. Now how do you stop it? Again, as I told you that we have to use only keyboard interrupt, only then it will work, otherwise it will not work. And the way you can use keyboard interrupt is by pressing Control C. When you press Control C, you get the output here saying keyboard interrupt. Okay, just to give you a reference, we can write here one variable. Let me take a is equal to, say, let me write here true. Okay, a is equal to true. And if you want to check what data type is it belonging to, you can write type of a and then check. You will get class which is belonging to Boolean. Okay, so it belongs to a data type called as Boolean. So in Boolean, we have got two binary values, either it will be true or false. All right, so that was about the conditional statement. Now what we will do is, if you remember, we had gone through multiplication table in the previous example. So I will go back to that previous example. Let me open it. Let me go to desktop. Let me go to Python multiplication table. Okay, let me open this. Here what I'll do is I will write forever loop here first. I will write while space true. Okay, let me write here while space true, and then I have to put all of this in a block. I have put this in a block now. Okay, and then if I run this, run module, okay, saved, and then run, it is asking me to type the multiplication table of 1. Press 1, enter. I get the multiplication table of 1 done. Let me press 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you want you can type here, and then the way you stop it is by using keyboard interrupt Control C. Now I have got a simple task. I don't want to type keyboard interrupt. I don't want to type Control C. Instead, I want it to stop when I press one particular key from the keyboard. Say I want to press Q from the keyboard. Q stands for quit. Okay, then what should I do? So here we'll be using again a conditional statement. Immediately after you take the input from the user, I will write here if, okay, if the value of num, whatever num value we are taking, okay, if it is equal to say q, okay, I will write here q. If that particular thing is equal to q, then let it break out of the loop. What do you mean by break? It has to come out. Okay, the program has to stop on its own. This is what is gonna happen, and what we will do is we have to write if else. Okay, I don't want elif here because I want only the second condition. Else what should happen? Else my for loop should run. My for loop in this particular range from 1 to 10 it should run, and inside the for loop it should print, or it should print me the multiplication table message saying that num multiplied by I is equal to num of I. Okay, now there is one small thing which you have to remember. We are taking the input in the form of integer, and for this particular thing it will work. You type 1 2 3, it will work, but then when you type q you will get an error. Let me show you the error. Control S and then press F5 here. Okay, when I press 1 it is working, 2 it is working, 3 it is working, but when I press q, what is the problem? See, the problem when you press q is that you get value error, and it says invalid literal for int with base 10q. That means it can accept only integer values, it can't accept any other values. So what we will do is we will remove this integer function from here. Let me remove this integer function from here. Okay, now we know that input it accepts string value, and only in the else part when you are printing this here, let me convert it into integer. I will write here int of num. Okay, I will write here int of num, and then my code should work properly. See, whenever you type q it will break, and whenever you type any other number it will be going on again and again and again. Okay, so let me save it and then run the code. Okay, so multiplication table of, okay, it is asking me of 1, press enter, I get it. 2, I get it. 3, I get it. Now if I want to break I will type q and then press enter, and it breaks out of the program. All right, so just to give you a hint, or just to give you a message that it has broken out of the program, what I'll do is I will come out of the if else statement, and I will write here print of program ended. Okay, this is what I will write, and program will only end when you type q from the keyboard. Okay, control S F5 once again, 1 2 3, type q, press enter, program ended. All right, so this is the multiplication table for any number. If you want any number to be typed, you can type it and you can check the output. All right, so a small task for you. Let me go back to my, okay, let me run this first. And then see, when I type here 1, I am getting, when I type here any number, I will get the output, right? Even if I type here 0, I get it correctly. If I type here -1 also, I will get the output correctly. But then if I type any other letter apart from Q, what happens? Let me check. Imagine I type here W. See here, when you type W, it says invalid literal for int. You are getting one error, correct? When you type Q, it will work. But then when you type something else, it is not working. So what I want you to do is I want you to write a program. When you type any other letter apart from Q, it should say invalid input. Please enter correct input. All right. It should say invalid input, and you have to please enter the correct input. And when you type any number, obviously it should come, and when you type q it should break out of the loop. All right, so that is the task for this particular tutorial series.
Please do like this video and share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing tutorials.